Welcome back to BJK Hockey Facts, guys. The qualifying rounds of the Stanley Cup Playoffs have finally ended, so we now have our official Stanley Cup 2020 bracket ready to fill out, and that's what we're going to be doing today in this video, seeing who I think is going to make it all the way to become the 2020 Stanley Cup champion in the most unprecedented of times in the bubbles in both Toronto and Edmonton. So if you guys won't mind, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure to hit the bell icon as well to be notified when you don't miss any videos. Once again, sorry for the long layoff. I was waiting for, I was having some work done around the house, so I really didn't want to record and have some annoying background noise in the, in the background of some of my videos. So we're back. Going to be back on the grind, and obviously, like I said, today we're going to be starting with our bracket fill out. So after the qualifying rounds have officially been over with, this is what it is looking like on both the Eastern and Western Conference side of things. So in the West, we got the 1 seed Vegas Golden Knights against the 8 seed Chicago Blackhawks, 2nd seed Colorado Avalanche against the 7th seed Arizona Coyotes, 3rd seed Dallas Stars against the 6th seed Calgary Flames, and the 4th seed St. Louis Blues against the 5th seed Vancouver Canucks. And then on the Eastern side, we got my 1st seed Philadelphia Flyers up against the 8th seed Montreal Canadiens, the 2nd seed Tampa Bay Lightning against the 7th Columbus Blue Jackets, 3rd seed Washington Capitals against the 6th seed New York Islanders, and the 4th seed Boston Bruins against the 5th seed Carolina Hurricanes. So that is what the bracket looks out. It's interesting that both St. Louis and Boston, who are both the #1 seeds going into the round robin tournament, both end up with the 4th seeds, and Philly jumps all the way up to 1st. Tampa Bay stays at #2 basically, and Washington I think stayed at #3, or they might have been 2, I forget. No, I think they were at 3rd, so it was basically just Philly and Boston switched spots. St. Louis goes from 1 to 4. Vegas I think Vegas was 3, Dallas was 4, so Dallas goes from 4 to 3. Colorado I think stayed at 2, and then Vegas jumps up from I think 3rd to 1. So pretty interesting ways the round robin turned out to figure out seeding, and then very interesting way teams managed to finagle their way into the playoffs. As it is, Chicago knocking off Edmonton, crazy upset. Montreal knocking off Pittsburgh, even crazier of an upset. Columbus beat Toronto last night in a crazy game 5. Not really a crazy game 5, just Leafs. My goodness. And everything else kind of seems fairly normal. Vancouver making it in, Calgary making it in, Arizona making it in, being Nashville. So good for them. But let's start with our predictions, and let's start filling out this bracket, shall we? And we're going to start on the Eastern side, since I know the East a little bit better than the West. I didn't really catch many of the Western Conference games, so my knowledge on the Western side is not going to be crazy experienced as I am with the East. But Philly versus Montreal. So Montreal has no business being into this playoffs, as a matter of fact. But man, did Pittsburgh just look disinterested in that whole entire series. My goodness. Philly, on the other hand, picked, they literally just picked up where they left off before the break. I think they've won either 12 out of 13 of their last games going into the round robin, going from the break into the round robin. So Philly is just, my goodness, my team is on another level right now, and they're playing like crazy. They haven't been like outscoring opponents like crazy. They're kind of like keeping it very similar. I've seen like they're both like shots for and shots against have been like relatively equal, so they're giving up the same amount of shots that they're taking. So you would like to see that they're taking a little bit higher than they're giving up, but still, the statistical comparison against the Montreal Canadiens, they are 2-1 against them throughout the season, I think. But even though the Flyers have won 2 and the Montreal Canadiens beat them once during the regular season, both of the games that the Flyers won have gone to overtime. So, and the one game that Montreal did win in Philly, Carey Price stole the show. But if you look at the stats, basically Flyers have goals per game, goals against per game, power play, penalty kill, face-offs, and point percentage. Flyers have the advantage in every single category, obviously, because the Montreal Canadiens only won 19 games during the regular season. But here's where it gets interesting. as much as Pittsburgh looked disinterested in that series and Montreal kind of just outright beat them, Carey Price looked very, very, very good. And that's what scares me as a Flyers fan. This team looks completely different than what Montreal looked in the regular season, and I'm scared that we get that Carey Price. We haven't seen that Carey Price in a good long time. So having that Carey Price will definitely be able to steal you games. However, Carey Price might be able to steal a game here and there. In a 5-game series, it's a little bit different. You can have your goaltender basically steal you a series in a 5-game series. In a 7-game series, though, I don't think that's going to be the case. So that's why I'm going to take Philly over Montreal once again. Flyers just have the depth, I think, so much better than Montreal. They have the depth on offense. The Flyers basically manhandled the round robin without like Claude Giroux, Jacob Voracek, getting points on the board. It was basically a lot of their depth players getting points, which is always nice, and you want to have depth in the playoffs for sure. Flyers have the much deeper offense. Flyers have probably a better defense than the Habs. And then goaltending matchup, I will give the edge to Montreal because Carey Price seems to be playing a lot better, but Carter Hart has also been playing very, very well in these round robin games as well. So that's why I'm going to take Philly over Montreal. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say that in 5 games. I think Carey Price might be able to steal the Habs maybe 1 or 2 games. So I think it either goes 5 or 6, but I think Philly will probably be able to handle Montreal in this series. I think just their depth and their overall play and just the way they've been playing right now is going to be able to overpower the Habs. So then we move to Tampa Bay versus Columbus, a rematch of last year's first round where Columbus swept the living heck out of Tampa Bay. I don't expect that same result this time around. If you look at the matchups here, goals obviously in Tampa's favor by a large margin. Goals against, Columbus has the edge. Power play, Tampa. Penalty kill, Columbus has a slight edge. Face-offs and point percentage go to Tampa as well. Now, I think Tampa Bay will not let what happened last year happen this year for sure, even though Columbus has looked very good. The thing is, though, Columbus just had to grind their way through a 5-game series with a very, very lethal Toronto Maple Leafs team. So, Tampa is sitting pretty, however. I don't know what the injury updates are on both Steven Stamkos and Victor Hedman. Like I said, we know Victor Hedman got injured in that Flyers game where his ankle's not supposed to bend that way. So he definitely had an ankle injury, and they were not going to risk him, coming back in that thing. You don't want to risk the health of a player in a round-robin game when you know you're guaranteed a second seed. So Tampa Bay was content with basically not sending him out there, taking the L, and settling with second seed. Now, Columbus has looked, very good in their series with Toronto. They basically just kept Toronto at bay, especially in that Game 5, not allowing them anything. Their goalies have looked very, very good. Elvis has looked very, very good in their their qualifying games. However, I watched that game between Flyers and Tampa Bay. Flyers kind of dominated the first 2 periods, but then when that third period came around, holy, that's the real Tampa Bay Lightning team, was that whole third period where it felt like Tampa had the puck in the Flyers zone for at least like 13 minutes of that third period. So I think Tampa was very, very dominant in that third period, and I think that's the real Tampa Bay Lightning team, and that was without Steven Stamkos and Victor Hedman. You throw both of those guys into the lineup, Tampa just becomes that much better, so that's why I think Tampa will win that series, probably in 6. I'm going to say that goes to a 6-game series where Tampa will take care of Columbus in that series, so I'm going to take Tampa in 6. Washington and the New York Islanders. Very, very interesting series here. Former coach up against Barry Trotz, former coach of the Capitals, so that kind of gives the Islanders a little bit of an edge, being that Barry Trotz was a former coach of the Caps, so they kind of knows what their game plan is. But Washington, I don't want to say they were like disinterested once again in the round robin tournament. They weren't playing like themselves, and I'm a little bit concerned about the play of Braden Holtby as well. He didn't look all too great in those round robin games either, so I'm a little bit concerned about Washington's goaltending. but we know the kind of firepower Washington has. Washington has a lot of, you know, big body presence up front to be able to really wear down a team like the New York Islanders. But the way the New York Islanders have been playing recently is just very, very good. It's all coaching. It's really not all players for the Islanders. I mean, they got a nice, well-rounded team, you know, with a couple studs here and there. You know, Barzell, you know, Anders Lee, Josh Bailey, Brock Nelson, players like that. They have a nice, well-rounded team, and, you know, a very solid defensive-minded defense. But it's all coaching for the Islanders that's really just keeping them and continuing to let them win games. So I really like the Islanders in this series, honestly, to be perfectly honest. This could be where I see an upset coming between Washington and the Isles. Like, they beat Florida in 4. Because Florida only stole 1 game from them. Yeah, I honestly kind of like the New York Islanders in this series, to be perfectly honest. I really, really do. I really like the Islanders in that series, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to take the Islanders in 6. Yeah. I don't know. If the play of Washington carries over from the round robin, I think the Islanders might have a chance to really, like, steal that series from them. So, you know, I'm going to take the Islanders in 6. That might be one of my upsets there. And then we go to this one, Boston and Carolina. Boston has the advantage in every stat going into this series, and this is also a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals from last year. Boy, if you thought Washington looked bad in the round robin, woof, Boston, y'all didn't look that great either. Boston did not look good either in the round robins. Carolina, I really just don't know how they do it. I really don't know. I look at Carolina's team. They're young. They have a very young defense, a very young forward core, a lot of youth, skilled players, a lot of speed. I just don't know how they get it done with their goaltending. Honestly, I really just do not understand how they get it done with Peter Mrazek in net. It's bewildering to me how they are able to get it done when it comes to goaltending. I don't think Boston is going to play the way they did in the round robin tournament at all. I think they're going to wake up and start playing like the #1 seed that they're supposed to be. Like I said, Carolina might give them a little bit of trouble, but Boston's just a far better team. They're just a more deeper team. They're more well-rounded. They have the better goaltender. They have the better They might not have the better defense, if we're statistically speaking right now. I think Carolina has a better defense, but offensively, it's just like, Jesus, like, their offense is just so much better than Carolina's. So I'm going to take Boston in that. I think they'll turn their game around, start playing like the #1 seed that they're supposed to be, and I think they'll take care of Carolina in probably like 5 games, I'll say. It's not going to be, I'm not predicting any sweeps here in this round, so I think I'll take Boston in 5. And that'll be the Eastern Conference. So we got Philly versus the New York Islanders in round 2, along with Tampa Bay and Boston. That'll be a very good series. So let's move on to the West, shall we? Like I said, don't really know much about the West. I didn't catch many of the games. But we'll start at the top here with Vegas and Chicago. Once again, Chicago, another team that's not supposed to be there. But Chicago is a team that is built for a cup. And they know how to win a cup. You know, you got Patrick Kane, you got Jonathan Toews, you got Brandon Saad, players like that have gone to the dance before. They've won 3 Stanley Cups with this kind of core group of players, and then you mix in some more youthful players like DeBrincat, Cahoon, and stuff like that. I'm still worried about Chicago's defense as a long haul. Honestly, I'm really worried about their defense. Vegas has just looked unreal so far in the round robin, and I have to pick Vegas here. I know Chicago is a team that's, like I said, that's built for a Stanley Cup, built for the Stanley Cup playoffs. But like, my God, dude, this Vegas looks incredible. They have 2 really good goalies that you could just basically flip-flop in. You could go with Robin Lehner. You could go with Marc-Andre Fleury, Corey Crawford. I mean, I have no idea. I know Chicago's riding that high from beating Edmonton, but like, you're running into Vegas, dude. Vegas is just like I said, they've looked unreal so far. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm not gonna say sweep. I'm gonna say 5. I think Vegas takes that series easily. Chicago versus Arizona. Arizona's looked pretty good in their series with Nashville. You know, they looked pretty good. Looked like Phil Kessel has been showing up a little bit recently, which is nice. But once again, Colorado's offense is might just be well overpowering for Arizona's defense and their goaltending. You know, Kemper has looked decent. That's what they have in that, right? I'm not second guessing myself. I'm pretty sure it's Darcy Kemper, right? God, comment section's gonna hate me if that's not the case. But yeah, I just like Colorado in this series, to be perfectly honest. I really don't see how Colorado could probably lose this series. Colorado is much deeper of a team, and I really think Colorado's offense will be able to overpower Arizona's kind of, you know, their team a bit. When I look at the Coyotes, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Has Hall been doing that good? Like I said, I don't know much about the West. I didn't catch many of the games, so I really just don't know how well they played against Nashville. All I know is that Nashville just didn't play well at all. And they were playing Saros in that. They weren't even playing like Rene most of the time. So I think I'm just going to go with Colorado. I'm going to trust my gut and just go with Colorado because I think they're better. Dallas and Calgary. This might be another instance where I pick like a 6 seed to go over 3. I mean, looking at the stats, Calgary has better goals per game. Dallas has the better goals against because, you know, Ben Bishop is a thing. Power play and penalty kill both go to Calgary. Face-offs and point percentage go to Dallas. I don't know. It's just like, when I think of the Dallas Stars, I don't know how they've been playing. You know, I could probably bring up NHL.com and just like look at how they played. I mean, they beat St. Louis, and that was in a shootout. I mean, let's look at stats. Can I look at stats via, hold on, let's see, qualifiers. Here we go. Let's see, so where was Dallas? Dallas was 1-2. So let's see. So Dallas lost to the Knights 5-3. They got shut out by the Avs 4-0. And then they beat the Blues 2-1. Just gonna look at some stats here real quick. Like Pavelski, Heiskanen, and Klingberg. I really want to see if I'm able to like look at their play in the round robin. Let's see, stats, team stats, playoffs. Will this show it? Okay, cool. Here we go. So Heiskanen's got 4 assists. Pavelski's been playing good. Corey Perry, where's Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn? Tyler Seguin 0 points in the 2 games that he's played. Jamie Benn 0 points. So Dallas needs to kick it up into another gear if they want to get into there. And then Calgary, who did Calgary play in the qualifying rounds? They played shit. Who did Calgary play? Calgary played the Jets, right? And they beat the Jets pretty handily. A lot of goals being scored in that series for the Flames. So Calgary seems to have their goal scoring touch on point, when Dallas hasn't even had Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn, guys like that really step it up. So I think I'm gonna do it again. I think I'm gonna take a 6 seed over a 3rd. I really like the 6 seed matchups here in both conferences. I honestly think Calgary might be able to handle themselves. Only question I have for Calgary, like I said, is their goaltending. Do you go with Cam Talbot? Do you go with Mike Smith? So I'm not really sure. Not Mike Smith. Rittich. Sorry. I'm not really sure which goalie they're gonna go with. So. No, wait a minute. It's not Cam Talbot. Jesus, my God. I'm all over the frickin' place right now. Who's Calgary's goaltenders? It's David Rittich and... Rittich and no, Cam Talbot has been in net all 4 games. Wow, so it hasn't even been Rittich. Is Rittich hurt? I don't think he is. He might be hurt. Anyway, yeah, but like the point totals, Lucic has been 4 games, 4 points for me on Lucic in the playoffs, so that's a thing. Yeah, they played, Calgary's point totals have played well. All their top players have had points in the 4 games, which is good. Jesus, Zach Ronaldo's in their roster. Woof. Anyway, yeah, I like Calgary in this series. I think it's better to go with Calgary than Dallas. Their team has just been playing a lot better. They handled the Jets, so they're kind of riding that high. They've been playing a lot better, too. A lot of their goal-scoring players seem to be on point, while Dallas seems to be like, they haven't really been putting up that many points in the round robin, so they got to really get their game together. But, like I said, Dallas has that one edge in goaltending with Ben Bishop, so that might be the answer for Dallas. Same way with like Dallas and Montreal, they need their goaltending to step up big time. So I'm gonna go with those. And then St. Louis and Vancouver. That's gonna be this is a tough series to call right here. That's a very tough one to call. Vancouver has looked good. Very youthful team, looking for their first time, looking for some playoff experience here. But you're running into a 4 seed. I really think that this series kind of very much mirrors this series where St. Louis, I don't think, is going to play like a 4 seed. I think they're going to get back to their ways of playing like a number 1. Vancouver, I think, will get some nice, good playoff experience for their young players, like, like Pettersson, Horvat, Besser, guys like that. But I think St. Louis might just be able to handle themselves. It's tough to call because Vancouver has played very, very well this year. Like I said, their youth has done very well. Their defense has, with the exception of Quinn Hughes playing very well, their defense has been okay. And Markstrom has played very, very well for the Canucks this year as well. But you look at St. Louis, they just have a much more, deeper, well-rounded team with some very good offensive players up at the top. They get Tarasenko back, which is huge for them. So I think it's going to be with the Blues. That might go like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that series goes like 7, to be perfectly honest. That might be a grind them down, muck it out kind of series. So I think that one will go 7. So what did I say? 5 for that. I think 6 for this. Probably 6 for this, and then maybe 5. Yeah, maybe 7 for that series, I think. Would be where that series goes. So in the West, we have Vegas going up against Calgary, and then Colorado with St. Louis. 2 very good matchups. So we'll go back to the East. Philly versus the Islanders. Islanders seem to have the Flyers number this season. I'm pretty sure the Islanders beat the Flyers every single game during the regular season, if I want to remember correctly. So the Islanders always seem to be a team that have the Flyers number. Who would I pick with that? Man. Who would I pick with that series? Like, I can't say no to my team, man. I really, like, I'm trying to be unbiased as I possibly can. But, like, they've been playing so well. They really have been playing so well. And if they're able to, beat Montreal in 5, continue it up, that one might go, like, 6 or 7. I wouldn't be surprised because the Islanders, like I said, are a team that seems to have the Flyers number. I can see Flyers making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, honestly. And I really hope they do. And I think they would beat the Islanders. I think they would outlast them in a 6-game series. And then Tampa and Boston. That'd be a really tough series to call. Once again, Boston has the advantage. If Tampa gets Stamkos and Hedman back by this time, I might give the edge to Tampa, honestly. Because Tampa just seems like Boston's a team that might be able to see Boston to me is like a team where you get up to an early lead and then they kind of just shut you down defensively. Where Tampa is like a team that's just going to be cycling circles around you, wearing out your team. Tampa and Boston, I really like Tampa in that series, to be honest. I really do. Like that, like alone, just that third period, what I saw with the Tampa Bay Lightning might be enough to, like, you know, really just kind of do that to teams on a, you know, on through a big series basis. Just really kind of keep them at bay with their offense, just continuously going around. Their depth is good. Tampa's depth is good. A lot of high-class players on their team, but then a lot of their depth players are very, very good. So I have a Philly-Tampa conference finals up at here in the East, and then in the West, Colorado versus St. Louis. I've liked Colorado basically since, you know, the season started, so I would take the Avs. And then Vegas and Calgary, probably Vegas. So yeah, I think Calgary, like their goaltending worries me if they go up against Vegas for sure. And then there's the conference finals basically. Vegas versus Colorado, both 1 and 2 seeds I have making it all the way basically. So Vegas versus Colorado, Philly versus Tampa. I would take Colorado over Vegas in that series. For games matchups, this one probably like 6. Honestly, I see that one going like 5. I said 7 for that, and then I said that one might go 7, honestly. This one probably 6. This one matchup, like I'm trying to be unbiased, but they've just been playing so well. Like I really can't see them making it all the way. This would be the only team I could see that, like these two. The Islanders would be a team that could cause them issues, and Tampa, if it makes it that far, I see as a team that could cause them issues. I really do. I think if Boston makes it to the conference finals, I think Flyers can make it to this. If Philly makes it to the conference finals and they go up against Boston here, I could see them going to the Stanley Cup finals. Flyers have had the Bruins' number pretty much all year. Tampa is a team that worries me, so I'm going to have faith in my team that they can make it that far. And Islanders are a team that worried me as well because they've had Philly's number all year. So I could easily see them making it to here and then Tampa-Colorado matchup right there. But I personally think that this would be the matchup that we could go for in the Stanley Cup Finals here with the Colorado Avalanche up against the Philadelphia Flyers. And just looking at this will be a really great series. Colorado's crazy offense against the Flyers, you know, against the Flyers' depth basically, but Colorado has great depth too. Colorado is a very, very, you know, I honestly would do that. I would be happy that my team makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I really want that to happen. You guys do not know how much I want this to happen so badly. But if I'm looking at these two teams on paper, Flyers have the edge in net. Colorado has the edge in defense, I would say. Their defense might be evenly matched. But when it comes to offense, I think Colorado's offense is just a little bit better than Philly's offense. Flyers might have the better depth, but Colorado's like 3 stars. Like if they can't contain McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, then that series will be over quick. Goals scored at the Stanley Cup Final, if it ever does get to that. Let's go with maybe an average of like 4 goals per game. Go into like a 6-game series, which would be like 24. No, 4 goals per game, so that'd be 4 times 6, 24. I'll go with like 36. I'll go with like 36 goals in this series. So yeah, that's gonna be my bracket, I think. Not really a lot of educated insight into a lot of these games, but yeah, that's kind of what I think will happen in this series, in this playoffs. I think Flyers will get by Montreal. Tampa, I think, will exercise their demons from last year and take care of Columbus. I really do think the Islanders have a chance over the Caps, honestly. I think that's one of the 6 seeds have a chance to really, both 6 seeds have a chance to beat their 3rd seed matchup. So that's why I think I'll take the Islanders over the Caps. And then Boston will start to play like the number 1 seed they are and pretty much beat the Hurricanes, even though the Hurricanes are a team that will definitely give Boston some trouble. And then the West, like Vegas just looks so good. I don't see how they can't beat Chicago. Colorado against Arizona. Like I said, I think Colorado just has a little bit of an edge over the Coyotes. Calgary has been playing a lot better than the Dallas Stars have in their qualifying round, so I think they'll carry that over and beat Dallas, because Dallas's star players haven't really been showing up in their 3 round robin games, so I think Calgary might have the slight edge in that. And then this one could go either way, honestly. I could see the youthful Canucks maybe knocking off the Blues, but I think the Blues have just a little bit better of a team than the Canucks to kind of outlast them, so take that. And then, like I said here, Islanders are a team that have had the Flyers number all season long, but I think they might be able to grind them out and get that dub. Tampa, like I said, if they get Stamkos and Hedman back by this time, I think they'll be able to edge Boston out. Vegas, like I said, Vegas, I just like them over Calgary. And then Colorado over St. Louis, I like the Avs. And then Colorado versus Vegas in the conference finals, I like Colorado just a little bit better than the Knights. And then I just have faith in my team that they can beat Tampa. Even though that third period, like I said, Tampa is a team that might be able to cycle circles around the Flyers. I think I have faith that my boys could get it done. But then when it comes to this matchup, like I said, I'm going to try to be unbiased as I possibly could. As much as I want that, I think if these two teams match up, I think this team would come out on top. But I'm rooting for my boys, as you can clearly see from my office. I'm rooting for my boys. I want, like, realistically, you guys know I want this, but for the video's sake, I'm going to take that. So, oh, cool. I actually do get to pick the games. So, that. This one, I think, goes 6. This one was, I think I said 6. That one, I think I said 6. This one, I think I said 6. That one, I think 7. This one, I think 6. And that's it. We'll submit the bracket, continue, and cool. So there's my bracket. You can do this on NHL.com, bracketchallenge.nhl.com. So make sure you guys go to that link. I don't think I'm going to create a league for anyone, but so that's just going to be my bracket the way it's laid out. And there are all the games as you will see them. So that's what I think the Stanley Cup is going to be. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Let me know who you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year in the bubbles, basically. Weird times that we're in. 2020, just 2020 is weird. We also have the draft lottery tonight. Somebody's getting Lafreniere. It might be Toronto. It might be Edmonton. It might be Pittsburgh. All of which are going to be bad, very, very bad case scenarios. So hopefully none of those 3 teams win Alexei Lafreniere. But let me know what you guys think of my bracket here down below. Other than that, you've been watching BJK Hockey Facts. Hope you learned something.